Hello, welcome to Canal T. I'm Ayse Zekai with a very new program called the Zek Report. Each week I will be reporting the latest headline news and in the UK and worldwide, and with a magazine program included. Now the first headlines will be the health, which is COVID-19. This disease is transmitted through cough droplets or sneezing and can live on plastic and stainless steel up to 72 hours. So it's vital that we wear masks and sterilise surfaces after each use, and sanitise our hands at all times and keep distance of at least 1 metre from each other. Boris Johnson says after a surge in the disease, notably among gregarious young people, he's introduced a 6-people rule. No more than 6 people in a group per household. And in the UK, there has been great concern for rise of coronavirus since May 2020. And as a result, in order to limit the amount of cases rising, Boris Johnson has resulted this action in England. Now, Scotland, Wales and Ireland, or Northern Ireland, have different rules. The rules are enforced by specialist COVID secure marshals who will issue £100 fine for flouting them. Even though the children have gone back to school this September, if this continues, this concern continues with the virus, the rising amount of viral infections in people, they will be possibly introducing another lockdown at half term, which means sometime in October, when the children are at school in half term from school, that we will have 2-week lockdown, complete lockdown. Now this would not affect the economy or the children's education, so that's why they're thinking of doing it at half term. Now the worldwide health, Brazil and Argentina have joined forces to produce the COVID-19 vaccine, which is quite good. In United States, the cases have risen to 6.79 million. And Donald Trump urged people to wear masks, saying it's patriotic. The second biggest rise is in India, and it's 5.3 million cases, a quarter of Delhi's population, according to government study. Indonesia reports its biggest rise yet, and Brazil is 4.53 million, and that's the figures shown. 623,000 UK cases. If we go to the economy of COVID-19, during the lockdown, the government introduced a few schemes in order to help the economy. The first one was furlough. Now, the term furlough is normally used by the armed forces or the armed services. It means a leave of absence whilst getting paid. Furlough scheme has been given to almost 10 million workers. It first started at end of March, where the government would give 80% of employees' salaries to employees, up to £2,500 per month. Now, this scheme started end of March and it will continue till 31st of October. But now the government is thinking of extending this scheme as not to cause massive unemployment. Some self-employed people were eligible for universal credit or unemployment income support during the lockdown period. The first payment for unemployment income support scheme was in May and the second one in August. Local council has given also financial support for businesses during coronavirus rates relief, and also banks lent up to £50,000 interest-free for 1 year for most businesses, the ones that would be eligible. The property buying in England, getting to the stamp duty rules, if it's your main property and you have the completion by 31st of March 2021, up to £500,000, there is no stamp duty. If you're buying a second home, still pay stamp duty on property costing more than £40,000 at revised rates, paying an extra 3%. This applies to both freehold and leasehold properties, whether you buy outright or with a mortgage. In Germany, I believe, they are to relax the insolvency rules to help the economy. Coming to the arts, the book of the week I've chosen for this week is My Mission to Save the World by Sir David Attenborough, the famous broadcaster and natural historian, author, BAFTA and Emmy Award winner. After a lifetime devoted to exploring the wonders of our planet, the great naturalist has written a devastatingly powerful book that's both a warning to mankind and a blueprint for a better future. From the London Statue Gallery, Saves the Day, it's as if COVID has forced out to go back to basics and got real, as you can see in the photo. It's London Fashion Week this week, and as you can see from the magazine, the photographs I've shown earlier, there's a bit of a 70s vibe with the chunky knee-length leather boots and a hint of 80s vibe also, with oversized double-breasted jackets with shoulder pads and boots over jeans up to the knee. Slick clear tailoring and oversized jackets and loose modern cut trousers are all catwalk favourites for the autumn of 2020. Now, the extraordinary Sir Terence Conran has died at the age of 89. He was born in 1931 and was a visionary and proud patriot who introduced Britain to duvets and woks. His talents range from hotel regeneration projects and his role as an advisor to Margaret Thatcher when she was Prime Minister. Founder of Habitat Store, which he opened up in 1964 in Fulham, London, and late Conran Shop later on, introduced us to flat pack, contemporary household and industrial furniture, which in 1992 was bought by IKEA, the Swedish company. He had written more than 40 books on design and graphics, opened more than 50 restaurants in central London, the Mezzo for instance, as being the first to be seated for 700 diners. He started his life off with restoring furniture, but ended up leaving a legacy of well-loved designs and adulation worldwide. We will get on to Brexit. Now, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, proposed a unilateral change to parts of Brexit, withdrawal agreement related to the Northern Ireland Protocol, which averts a hard border with European Union. There is no precedent for Britain breaching international law in this way. It may be British brinkmanship as talks over trade deal continue. But Ursula von der Leyen, head of the European Commission, said it might result in no deal at all, which was reported in The Economist, September edition. And lastly, did you know that fish and chips, the quintessential British dish, has a somewhat fishy history? The Portuguese Jewish exiles turned chips with fish into our national dish, and we'll find out just how. They first came into this country with the 16th century Portuguese Maranhães, who, though posing as Christians, were Jewish, so fried their fish, egg and breadcrumbs every Friday to eat cold on Sabbath, as cooking was forbidden on Mosaic laws. So they invented the batter in order to preserve the fish. When the rivers froze, however, there were no fish. They would use potatoes as substitute. In 1863, Lancashire-based entrepreneur Joseph Malin, a Jewish immigrant, cooked the potato as chips, teamed up the fish with batter, and sold them wrapped up in newspaper from a little hut, which became the fish and chips as we know it today. Well, that's all for this evening. Thank you for watching the Zek Report at Canal Ter. And don't forget the social distancing rules and the 6 people rule. And I hope you will keep yourself healthy by keeping to these rules, washing hands regularly, putting a face mask and keeping a distance. That's all for today from Canal Ter. We'll see you all next week.